Well, that was a lot closer than it needed to be. But hey, Happy New Year. The 49ers are the second seed. Let's talk about this one. Welcome, everybody. Let's go, Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Jason Aponte. The 49ers move into the second seed with a 34-31 win over the Las Vegas Raiders in overtime. First of all, do some housekeeping. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. A lot to talk about. Hey, look, he made the second kick, but I guess the first thing to talk about is everybody, is either excited, about this game 37-34. I apologize. Everybody's excited about this game, coming into the week. It's the Raiders. You see, Jarrett Stidham, and you think, yeah, this 49ers team, is ready to roll, right? And why wouldn't you think that, right? So the thing is this. Will, they played like shit on defense. That's not a trap game. They just played like shit, right? It doesn't matter though. They won. So it's not a trap game. They won. The problem is things that we've been talking about all week with the defense in terms of the secondary. And I'm not here to pick on one person. Not here to pick up, because it was multiple people in the secondary at different times. And that's what's scary. That is something that we keep talking about, but it gets masked with these blowout victories and the way that Purdy's been playing and everything. And it's just like, all right, hey, that was one play, but they won by this amount. This team is rolling in this direction, So the thing is, hey, I guaranteed winning, they won. I mean, don't matter how they won, right? If you put a bet down the 49ers money line, right, and they won in that fashion, the sports book doesn't say, well, they barely won, so you don't get paid. No, if you said they were going to win, they were going to win. Now, did they win in the fashion that I said they were going to win in? No, but that's a whole other story. You do have to give credit to the Raiders, Jesus. I like that. They came in, they did some things. They clearly wanted to attack the secondary. They clearly had a plan, and they were executing it. So it's back to what we were talking about all week. The secondary. It's different people, different times. And it's not one person. It is not at all like, oh, this person's to blame. At certain points, it was this person. At certain points, it was this person. I think you guys know who it is. I don't have to really, say it or anything like that. And I'm going to get to this right after that, because I wholeheartedly agree with this. But those type of games are the games that you are going to be playing going forward, right? Next week's game is not going to matter. In terms of like one and done, right? Like the 49ers have a chance to still lock up the number one seed, even though I feel like the Giants winning today kind of takes them out of playing hard next week for the 49ers and beating the Eagles, because they're probably going to be resting everybody because they're in the playoffs. Would have been a little bit better if the Giants were fighting for their lives at the end of this week, and that would be good, because I don't know if they're going to play everybody at this point. So these games going forward are going to be like this, albeit against better opponents, not a lesser opponent like the Raiders. So there's going to be games like this in the playoffs where things aren't going right. Teams are executing. You have to clean things up. You have to make adjustments. You have to battle back. I feel you learn more about teams during games like this than you do in blowouts. Blowouts aren't typical in the league, right? Every game, this league is great with parity. You learn a little bit more about yourself when you're battle tested. When you get punched, can you punch back? Especially for this kid. I think today was a great reminder that we're all excited about Brock Purdy. We're all excited about him, but he's still a rookie. He's still a rookie, man. And I think that's something that we need to also remember. So this was a good reminder of that. We can get blinded by all the other things. He doesn't look like a rookie. He had some of those throws today that he looked like a rookie. And I think, again, that's a good reminder of this. But Keith says, we needed a win like this. Offense carried the defense. Shows we can win in many different ways. Let's go 2 seed, baby. That's it. That's it right there. All these games are going to come down to games like this, right? Going forward in the playoffs. You're facing higher competition. They're going to be doing things. They're obviously excellent teams. They're going to be in the playoffs. For this kid, I think it was perfect for him to have to do this. I mean, shit, he led back-to-back winning drives, basically. I mean, Robbie Gould missed the kick, but he would have had that game won. He would have had that game won. So it's good for the kid to have these moments. It's good for the kid to get a taste of these tight games, and it's good for him to overcome that. That's exactly what you want to see. So I do agree with that 100%. I think you learn more about your team in wins like this than you do in blowouts, because blowouts aren't going to be typical, and that's not how you're going to win in the playoffs. These are the type of games like when you play against Philly, Dallas, whoever. That's how these games are going to go. So yeah, I mean, look, credit the kid. He did it again. The defense, obviously, this is something I did not count on. The defense, I don't know what happened. It was more the secondary, but Fred Warner didn't have a good game today, and that's shocking. Like he was over aggressive. The face mask allowed that drive to continue, and then I think that was the Adams touchdown right after. Then he had the PI in the end zone. It just felt off for Fred today, and that's not typical. Hi, Everly. 49ers won. But yeah, it's the defense is something. A defense giving up all of those points, that's something that I didn't see coming. And again, I'm not going to pick on one person who in the secondary, right? Because it was almost all of them at one point or another, right? It's hard to figure out where certain coverage busts were without the all-22 in terms of like that long one to Adams. I saw people saying it's Hufanga. I saw people saying it's Jimmy. I don't know, and I don't want to speculate on that. The same thing with the first touchdown. But the secondary, it continues to pop up. It continues to happen. It continues to be an issue. And now in this game, it almost cost them. See, this is what we were talking about all week. Secondary, okay, it's not happening in all of these games that it's going to cost you or anything like that, right? Like if it's one coverage bust, but they only score 7 points, then it doesn't matter, right? But when it's coverage bust after coverage bust that's leading to touchdowns and now putting you in a position where you have to fight back, that's the concern. That's always the concern. It's not just one guy. That's the thing. It's not just one guy. Let's see. Wake-up call game. Reality is needed, so we're not overconfident in the playoffs. Rather this happen now than the NFC Championship game, Cole. Hey, look, I agree with that 100%. I think this team needed to be battle-tested, especially with Purdy under center. Purdy needed to have one of these games, right? And he needed to have a game where the defense didn't carry them, because it always feels like the defense is going to keep you in it. All you have to do is put 17, 18 points, whatever it is, right? Like that's all you have to do. But for me, it's more about this being like a one-off thing. I don't know what the game plan was. It got a little bit better in the second half, but there was problems like later on in the game, all that stuff. So, hey. So you get the win, and that's all you have to do, right? You have to have more points than the other team. So usually you're just going to sit there and say the defense is going to keep us in and we got to score 17. Well, you know what? You had to score 34, 37 today, right? 37 points. Good. I thought Purdy played great. I think Christian McCaffrey's incredible. I think Brandon Ayuk showed everybody why everybody's so excited about him. He's incredible. He had a great game. Kittle caught that touchdown pass. It didn't always look pretty during stretches of the game, but Deebo Samuel's going to be back in the fold. If this offense can score at this level, then there you go. That's what you're looking for at this point. So shout out to everybody in here. Almost 400 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Big Des says Lenore and both safeties are going to get picked on. Demo had a rough game today. Demo had a rough game in almost every facet of it. Not just coverage, tackling. He had a rough game today. He really did. I think that we kind of lost sight of Emmanuel Mosley because the 49ers had just won. That's kept winning, right? And we almost are just like, well, it doesn't matter who's on the other side. His defense is dominant. Imagine how good this team would be right now if Emmanuel Mosley was there. And I think that we kind of lost sight of how important he is because Lenore had been solid for stretches, right? Like he had been fine. But yeah, this one, man, this was a rough game for him, man. Like I hate it for him, but he's got to work through it. There's not really the only other option that I could think of is Jack Rabbit Jenkins. That's it. If you're going to do something like that. And I don't know if you want to shatter the kid's confidence. I don't know if you want to show him that, like, hey, one mistake, one bad game, you're out. Like, I don't know if you want to do that. It's up to them, but they do need to clean that up. That whole secondary needs to clean it up basically at this point. Mooney had had a bad penalty, but like a lot of stuff going on like with the secondary, and it's always one or two plays almost every game. And now this game was over and over and over and over. And it's just like, damn, the Raiders knew exactly what to attack. They knew exactly what to attack. Again, credit them. They had a plan, they attacked, and they executed. I mean, Stidham looked like he knew exactly what they wanted to do. And he executed it, man. I mean, Adams is Devontae Adams. I mean, that catch, for the touchdown over Mooney Ward. I mean, what can you say? There's a lot of talk about whether that catch, at the end of the fourth quarter was a catch. Whether you think it is or not, there was not enough evidence to overturn it. So I think that's the best way. We have to get out of this whole, like, was it a catch or was it a catch? If you don't have evidence to overturn it, or if it's not enough, then, like when I first saw it and I said, that's a catch. That's got to be a catch. Just has to. I'm on my LeBron shit just saying that, I said that during the game and I predicted it. So, yeah. Let's see. Jason, Hufanga, Wanda, thank you for the generous donation. Hufanga gambles burned us, but bang bang baby, happy new year to you, Wanda. Yeah, and that's the thing is the one touchdown on the Waller play. There's been a little contention of who exactly it was. I mean, Hufanga had his eyes in the backfield, but I don't know if that was his responsibility. I think Rich Madrid pointed it out that Lenore was actually supposed to be there. So if so, again, that's why it's not time to pick on anybody, because this whole secondary is having problems right now. And it's only going to get heightened when you start to face better offenses, better teams, better quarterbacks. So that's the thing. It's hard. I don't want to pile on one person. I really don't, man. It's everybody. So, but happy New Year to everybody in here. It's better. Ugly loss is way better than a ugly win is way better than a pretty loss. I promise you. If there is a such thing as a pretty loss. So, Ryan Reed says, my mom disagrees with throwing it on 3rd and 4. Whoa. Are you talking about the Purdy play where he threw it up in the air and BA went up and got it? I didn't see that coming at all, man. My goodness. Whew. When that ball went up in the air, all I could think was, I mean, it was just up in the air, and I'm like, oh my God, who's gonna come down with it? Thank God that Brandon Ayuk was able to go up and bring that one in. But yeah, man, that was scary. That was scary. The agenda is live and well, Kyle. It is live and well. It is alive and well. Let's see. Mark says, Jason, you right. Lenore needs these games for development. Trial by fire. Just hope it doesn't hurt us. Yeah, and again, the pass rush was non-existent for large stretches of this game. D'Amico had to go in the second half with a little bit more of blitzing and sending guys from different directions to generate pressure. So that's a part of it, right? Like, Lenore won't be left out on islands if the pass rush is getting there, right? Like, if you have 1 or 2 seconds, like, and you're going to get after it. So it's more like, again, it's all complimentary, right? Like, that's why it's like, damn, Lenore is getting burned, but he wouldn't have time to get burned if the pass rush was getting there, right? So I just think a lot of that has to be in there, but at the same time, I don't think you can shake the kid's confidence immediately and just say, hey, listen, it's been one bad game. You got to get out. Like, you got to get out of here. Like, and then can you ever go back to him? I understand, Kyle likes his vets, right? Josh Norman, right? Like, whatever, he wants to play them. But at this point, like, Lenore's already put too much on film this year and done a lot of good things, many good things, for you to just say after this one game to get rid of him. I think it's all complimentary. I think there needs to be a little bit more pass rush to curb that on the back end. There can't be 8-10 penalties in a game. That's another sloppy thing that I just, like, I hadn't seen from this team. That was early on in the year that they would have things like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's all complimentary. Lenore didn't have a good game in all facets. But if they're able to get more pressure, if they're not putting him in spots where he has to be one-on-one with people, then, yeah, I mean, yeah, then things like that will go away. So thank you for the donation, buddy. Tony said, I thought the Vegas O-line played their tails off today. Credit to them, but it wasn't enough to beat the Niners. The Raiders played their ass off, man. Like you have to give them credit. And I know everybody's going to make snarky remarks about, well, maybe Carr was holding them back, but it's you usually see that sometimes with teams, and I think it was Will who said it was going to be a track game, that people kind of galvanize, the team gets galvanized around a backup, right? Almost like me against the world type stuff. Nobody expected them to win. If you took the over on this game, You cashed it, right? Like nobody would have thought that the Raiders were able to put up that many points. So yeah, you have to give the Raiders credit. There's no shame in saying two things are true. The 49ers weren't disciplined on defense, committed too many penalties, and the Raiders executed their game plan. And also, Devontae Adams is really fucking good at football. If it took today for you to learn that, I don't know. But thank you for that, Tony. Let's see. JR says, Ryans gets too much praise. I'm not confident in the defense into the playoffs. Brock to the rescue. Let's go Niners. JR, I wouldn't say that. I think games like this happen. And you often see teams that should beat the brakes off of teams that either lose or struggle. Wins are wins. It's not college football. You don't go up the rankings by beating, the Las Vegas Raiders by 40 points and they move you up. I just think this is a one-off. I'm gonna chalk this up as a one-off, but the stuff in the secondary has been happening. And I do think that a lot of what D'Amico did at the end, in terms of blitzing and getting pressure, the pass rush finally got there, and it felt like they were wearing down the offensive line. That's always what it's going to be, and that's how you close out ball games, even if you did give up 34 points. So I just think it's a one-off, JR, in my opinion. So let's see. JP says, Ayuk so underrated. He played so well. Yeah, man. What a game for him. This was his coming out party for people that either doubted him, something like that. You can't, man. He's so good. If he can just clean up the drops, that's it. And he's just like to the moon at this point. Love Brandon Ayuk. So happy for him, man. And Bruce says, do we take the number 2 seed with the Vikings loss? We did. We indeed did. We're tied with them right now. And then it would take the Eagles losing and the 49ers winning to move into the first seed. So yeah, you always want the 2 seed, but now this puts next week's game where you kind of have to play. I think the Eagles and Giants play at 1:00. So if the Eagles wrap up the number 1 seed, you're still going to see the 49ers play their guys because they want to keep that 2nd seed. Because I think what's important and what's most important is you have to be able to stop traveling as much as you can, right? Like stay on your side. And if something happens to Philly, then you don't have to leave the West Coast again. You can stay home. You can just, drive over to Glendale. You have to win your games, obviously. But yeah, if you stay on the West Coast, it means the 49ers won't have left the West Coast for, I don't know, since like October, November, something like that. So yeah, let's see. Jermaine says, BA turned into Neo in the Matrix on that duck catch, the one. Yeah, man, he high pointed that thing, man. Thank God. That ball was up there forever. It felt like it was up there for an eternity, and he jumped up and he grabbed that thing out the air, man. So, man, this game did not need to be as stressful as it was, man. But shout out to the 49ers faithful. They took that building over. I mean, you've got another home team on silent count the entire time. It was all red. Shout out to those 2 Raiders fans who berated that Patriots fan. Hope you go home with that L, and I hope you're crying in your car. So yeah. Those are the people that I like the least. Those people in that video that were doing that to that Patriots fan. Good thing that wasn't me. Yeah. All right. Christian, thank you for the generous donation. Appreciate you. Purdy did fine. Threw a lot of good passes that were dropped, but also some bad passes. Rookie quarterback drops, penalties, and defense kept this game close. Yet our offense put up 34 points. Overall, tough win, but a win. Yeah, I think I agree with all of those things. And that's the thing is, again, you learn more about your team during games like this than you do during blowouts, because blowouts just aren't typical in the league like that, right? Like you're not going to find somebody who's just running roughshod through everybody. You're going to have games like look at Denver and Kansas City today. That game was by 3 points. That game went to the wire, and there's other examples of like, the Cowboys squeaking by a team or the Eagles barely beating a team. But you know what? Good teams find ways to win games and bad teams find ways to lose them. So I think this was good. I think it's a great learning experience for Brock to understand that sometimes things aren't just going to be you throwing darts and killing, the GOAT by halftime and guys are up 21-0. And like that stuff is not typical. This is what playoff football is going to look like, albeit against better opponents. This was a lesser opponent. The 49ers didn't exactly execute on defense. Well, you know what? You got to pick up the offense got to pick you up. And sometimes the defense picks up the offense back and forth. So again, this is why this team is so talented. This is why this team is so dangerous. They're able to do things like this. They're able to have games where the defense isn't exactly executing, but they're able to put up this amount of points and score this many times when they need to. And the defense did just enough. So yeah, I mean, it's give and take, and it just depends on your overall outlook on this team. Really, like, are you an optimistic person? Are you somebody who is generally optimistic, or are you looking at this with the glass half empty now. Like, it's up to you right now at this point. So, I mean, for me, it's just wins are wins at this point. Gammon, shout out to you, man. Mod Squad in the building. Hit the like and subscribe button. Yeah, 20 minutes in, almost 600 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. A lot of content this week. Next week's game means something now. Next game means something. Let's see. Gammon, Gold, obviously, point shaving betting in Las Vegas. Investigate Robbie Gold, man. You know, I have a lot of fun with the kicker stuff or whatever, but I just, look, I need him to make those kicks. I need him to make those kicks. I need him to make that kick. If he misses one in the first quarter, fine. But he's got to hit that one at the half. Like, I mean, at the end of the game. He has to. Like, he has to, man. Let's see. Michael Everett, thank you, man. Happy New Year to you and your family, Jason. Yeah, I'm sure you guys hear Averly in the background, but thank you, Michael. Same to you, and thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. JR, you're right, Jason. Ryans did make some adjustments in the end. Give Jenkins a chance at cornerback. Stay spicy, my dude. Big fan here. JR, appreciate you, bro. And yeah, and I think that's why they brought in Janoris Jenkins. A lot of people were just like, oh, well, who's injured? Doesn't mean that. It's always best to stockpile guys that you can set your watch to, that you know are at least solid, right? So I think that's what it was more than anything. But appreciate the donation, my guy. You know, a lot of fun. So much easier to talk about this team after they win a game and after they keep winning, right? So what's that? 9 in a row now? 9 in a row. Hottest team with a chance for 10. Then you know what they got to do if they don't get that first seed? They just got to win 4 more, right? 14 in a row. Completely done. What's the injury report looking like? Right now, Dre Greenlaw, I felt like that looked worse than it was. He got up and ran off. I think he's going to be fine. They should just, you know, keep him. Aaron Banks was apparently riding the stationary bike during the game, so he didn't come back in the game. I thought Brunskill filled in well, even though that was a position that he played the least on the offensive line. I know he's like a Swiss Army knife. But other than that, just seems like it was those two. So unless we hear something different from Kyle, I think it was those two. But I'm not a doctor. I would guess that they probably avoid a serious injury. Yeah, so let's see. Vishal, thank you for the donation, buddy. I'm glad we got a tough fought win. They will get us ready for playoff football, especially Purdy in the defense. Saw Purdy get riled up after the INT, but he bounced back with clutch throws to 11, 15, 23. Yeah, man. I mean, I thought Juwan Jennings had a good game as well, too. You always get excited when your team can put up points like this, right? And again, the big answer, the big question, man, how many points do you need to score to win games? Just more than your opponent. Might be 10, might be 37. Got to be more. That's it. You got to find a way to get it done. And I agree, Vishal. This is a great win for Purdy and a great experience for him to go into, you know, what was a road game and have those circumstances and realize that after about the first half, it's like, okay, the defense isn't exactly where I'm used to it being. I'm going to have to pick it up. We're going to have to pick it up. And I thought he made some throws. He missed some throws. But again, I think this was a good reminder also that Purdy is still a rookie, even though he doesn't look it at certain times. I thought that throw to Kittle in the end zone was incredible. I thought that he made some other throws that were perfect. I thought he made some throws that were just missed. So again, work in progress. We still are evaluating. He's the quarterback though. So, I mean, it's good that he gets this experience under his belt because this is what playoff games are going to look like, I think. So let's see. All right. So yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to say that. All right, let me bring this up. I don't want to say that he stinks in coverage. He just overly aggressive at times, right? Like it's when you don't have speed to get back when you're beat, you have to cheat a little, right? And you have to cheat with your instincts. And sometimes Huff cheats with his eyes. And that's something that he's 22. They've got to work through. That's why I brought it up all offseason. I was concerned about this. I am just shocked that it's popping up now and didn't start the season like this, right? It wasn't constantly happening early in the season. It's starting to happen now. Now, is this because he's all of a sudden forgotten how to play football? No, I don't think it's that. I just think that teams have seen the chances to do it, right? So when you look at the film and he cheats on a route, but they don't throw the ball there and there was somebody open behind them, when someone's watching that, they're like, well, look, he cheated. But then there's times when he cheats and the ball goes over his head. So it's the more and more you put on film, the more and more you have tendencies, the more and more people are going to pick that out. And that's exactly what McDaniels did today. Not only did he go after Huff, he went after Lenore. He understood, hey, listen, we're not going to play with this defensive line. We're not going to play with these linebackers. We need to play with the one thing that you can actually beat the 49ers. And right now, unfortunately, it's the secondary. It's just a secondary. So I think that's really where we're at. Again, I'm not picking on Huff because he was far from the only one today. I mean, I don't know who to blame on that Devontae Adams play. I think from first glance when you're watching it and you see Hufanga step back with Adams and then fire to the ball and lay that hit on Stidham, you kind of have it in your head that he thought he had help behind him, but then it looks like nobody covered him. So I just, it's something that has to get cleaned up, but the tendencies were always there. They're just now being exploited a little bit more. So it's not just Hufanga. Like, I'm not trying to pick on Huff at all. I want the kid to succeed. Obviously, I want this team to win, but it's just been there. And I think that people are taking advantage of it now, and they're seeing it, and they're seeing how they can hit him with double moves, or they can run route combinations where they know he's going to get aggressive and jump the under and have the shot over his head. It's some of the stuff that a lot of people had problems with Tart, like, oh, he doesn't take the ball away, but he was disciplined always. He was always in his spot. That you couldn't get the ball over his head. Like, they don't give up explosive plays. So again, it doesn't mean that Hufanga is cooked. No, he's still a great player, and he's still got time to clean all this up. He's only 22. But this is the part of the concern that we had. And to be fair, he made a great play in the end zone when he was one-on-one with Waller, I believe. He made a great play, and again, he never gets too down. He just continues to play. You love to see that from the rookie, and I think that he'll figure it out. He's not a rookie. I'm sorry, second-year guy. But yeah, I don't know if I'm ready to like jump into like, oh, he stinks or something like that. It's not that, I don't think, at all too. So, yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like the rest of the game he was good, right? Like, you can't necessarily say, oh my God, like he keeps getting torched. I felt like Lenore was more of the liability in this one. But again, I don't want to pick on anybody because again, it's different guys at different times, and that's what you're starting to see a little bit of. So great to see BCB thrive under pressure and adversity. Hope this shuts a lot of the haters the F up. What Eagles jerseys do you have, by the way? Stop that, man. I'm not an Eagles double agent, man. That's a joke from State of the Franchise. Thank you for the donation, Jan. I have no Eagles jerseys. Actually, back in the day when we used to wear big hats and the jerseys, I had a McNabb joint that was hard. That green, it went hard. But again, you're only wearing it because of fashion. So damn, you got me. I do have a McNabb jersey somewhere. If I go in my closet, I'm sure it's in there with my other size 60 jerseys. And I don't know why I spent all those money on those jerseys and wore them so big. But damn, you might be onto something. Terradome, I was more confident today in Purdy than any time last year in close ones with Jimmy G. Yeah, I mean, I again, it's hard for me to like, throw shots. Well, I don't think you're throwing a shot at Jimmy G, but like, I don't want to compare. I just think that, when you look at this, 34 points, you have to score 37. I think Purdy did all the things you want to see from a guy who's still starting his first few games, right? Handful of games only, 7th round rookie. So yeah, I mean, I was confident in the fact that I thought he could move the ball. Obviously facing his defense, they're like bottom of the league in almost everything. You would think that there's a chance. There's always guys running wide open. So yeah, I mean, it's fair. But I don't want to throw shots at Jimmy like that. But hey, Purdy looked good though, like down the stretch. So yeah. All right, let's see. I love it, man. I love it. I like to have fun, man. That's pretty funny, man. He did get me though. He got that. Is Banks out for the year? I don't think so. I mean, unless something comes across with Cobb. I mean, he was on a stationary bike. I think it was Jennifer Lee Chan who reported that. So he was on a stationary bike. He was questionable to return. If he was out for the year, they would have declared him out in that game. So I don't think he's out for the year. Jason, do you think we rest Banks and Greenlaw next week to get them fully healthy? Or if they're ready, start them and keep the momentum? I think it's okay to rest those guys. I think you have somebody who's steady in Brunskill. Aziz Al-Shaair is there. Oren Burks is really good as well, too. MCL sprain for Banks. I don't think that's for the year then. It could be based on recovery time. So, all right, that's a good call. But I don't think you need those guys in that game to win. Yeah. So if it's an MCL sprain, it may be for the year because that's a certain amount of weeks, and I don't know how much longer. So yeah. And I think this is still the goal. But I'll circle back to this point. Unfortunately, the Giants won today. They made the playoffs, and that means they're probably going to rest their guys next week. And the Eagles are probably going to win. The best case scenario for the 49ers would have been the Giants losing and then playing next week for their playoff lives. But now that they're in, I think they're going to rest their guys, man, at this point. It sucks. It's their right. They earned it. They don't have to think about the 49ers at all. But yeah, they have nothing to play for. Yeah, that's my thing. Unless the Eagles completely fall flat on their face. I mean, they look like shit today for large stretches. Gardner Minshew was not good. But yeah, if they're playing the backups, I think that's it. I don't think the Giants can move up. I don't think they can because you have the 4 division winners. They're already locked in. Tampa won their division today. Dallas is ahead of them. The Packers are going to sneak in behind them. It looks like, and then I don't think they can move up. I don't think they can. And if they do move up, it still puts them in a position where they're facing. I don't think they can move up though. That's a good question. Maybe I'll circle back to that another time. But I can't remember off the top of my head. So, yeah, Devontae is nasty. Yo, Jay, do you think Kyle will play Debo next week? Yeah, definitely. Not a full complement of snaps. Not a full complement of snaps though. He just needs to get his feet wet, get his conditioning back. That's it. So, let's see. Can they move down? I don't know. Good question. I haven't even looked at all that. I just think that if you're the Giants, maybe you play guys for a half, or maybe you go full like fuck the Eagles because you hate them so much and they're in your division and you want to screw them out of the bye. If the Giants are on that type of time and that type of energy, I love that. But I don't know if they're gonna do that. I think there was it last year or the year before? I think it was the last time that Peterson was there or something like that. That the Giants were trying to get in and they had a chance to help them out and beat a team and they like benched everybody. Do you think maybe the Giants remember that? And maybe they want to like exact some kind of revenge? But would you risk getting your guys injured to do that? So, I mean, I just don't know. I don't think they're going to play guys. I would love that, man. So, let's see. Man, I got tired of seeing 29 and 38 in the instant replays. E-Man lost showed us his ugly head today. Yeah. Yeah, man. Manuel Mosley. Sucks, man. Sucks. But yeah, they got to clean it up. Thank you for the donation, Keith. Appreciate you, man. Rick, Jason, do you think they could have played tight coverage when they did? They should have played tight coverage where they didn't do it and control the line of scrimmage. I think they were a little bit worried about over the top. I don't think Lenore is as fast, able to get back. Mooney can do whatever he wants. He's sound technique. But it's harder for those guys who don't have straight line speed to just get right back. So, I mean, I think why they kind of play loose. They kind of use it like we're gonna get enough pressure. They're not gonna be able to run their routes and get those things generated. But the pass rush wasn't there largely. Oh yeah, Jordan fucking Mason almost closed the game out, man. I'm so happy, man. So happy for him. First touchdown. Congrats, young man. Keep hooping. Get more reps, hopefully. I love that. All right, almost 30 minutes in, 500 people in here. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Appreciate all you guys for being here. 49ers win, second seed. Happy New Year to you and your family. Agent 49er says, is Womack healthy? I'd put him in at cornerback. Kyle didn't seem too happy with him after the Washington game because he had to step in for Mooney Ward. He was the one who gave up the long grab to McLaurin. When he was pressing the duty in Atlanta, Kyle Pitts scored a touchdown for the first time on North American soil against him. He's just a rookie, man. I think again, like it's there's not too many options. Lenore has the most time under his belt. They seem to trust him. He's just got to get this ironed out, and the pass rush has to help as well too. So I think it's a little bit of that too as well. Womack I'd say his credit. Womack lost the slot job and continue to play well on special teams and continue to contribute. Goes to speak to the culture of this team. So, hope don't play Green Bay. They're playing well right now. But I think the 49ers have the recipe to slow them down. I mean, Christian Watson has been good. He came back today. I don't think he really did too much, but like they don't really have too many weapons outside of like Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon is like their goal line back. But Aaron Rodgers is playing very well. They're definitely going to get in now. So yeah, I'm good with playing Green Bay. I'm not actually nervous about that at all. Especially if it's going to be at Levi's. If Devontae Adams was over there, maybe you started getting a little bit more nervous. But I don't think that they pose the same threat. But again, they're probably going to get in with the 7 seed. So they'll play the 2 seed, which is currently the 49ers. So let's see. All right, guys, 35 minutes in. I'm going to get out of here. 500 people. Thank you guys so much, man. Happy New Year to you and your family. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed this thrilling win. And enjoy your time with your family. A lot of people have tomorrow off as well. Your 49ers are in the 2nd seed. That's a beautiful thing right now, and they still have a chance for the first seed. We'll talk about all that this week. That's why you make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have so much content going. So shout out to everybody in here. Appreciate all of you guys. I'm out of here. Enjoy the time with your family, and let's go Niners, huh? Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.